Hello, the last video got cut, so we're going to keep going. I am called to pull some more energy oracle cards. Yeah. So what we've got going on here, just picking up where we left off, is like there's this overall anxiety, particularly for the feminine, around either, or this could be for the feminine or the masculine, either from having left a job or from wanting to leave a job that's no longer satisfying and not really being sure how that's going to work out financially. And just having, I think this just has a lot to do with financial stress and that kind of preventing from really, just like exploring like what's really going to make you happy, and which is what really, really needs to happen. And by cutting away all that no longer serves, that might be kind of compounding these feelings of guilt around, like letting go of the people that, have been basically forcing you to kind of maybe do things that weren't really in alignment for you. In many cases, a job that wasn't in alignment for you because of their own selfishness and not really caring about your happiness. That really, like, that's gotta go. That's gotta get cut off, and that you're not here to be a well to be tapped. And while there might be temporary anxieties around this, that and some current financial constraints around that situation, the underlying energy that's coming about from underneath all of this stress that you can't see is blossoming abundance. And we got the 3, which is the Trinity energy. And the feminine is really stepping into that Trinity energy this week. We had the will and wisdom card come up in the other, and I think empower come up in the other reading for the feminine. And so I really do feel like the balancing of the masculine and the feminine energies happening in the feminine right now are bringing rise to this abundance from within that I saw in my meditation. And so it's really important to really connect, to go inside and realize, this card also popped out as well, the Merkaba spiritual protection, like I was speaking about the Merkaba, that inside of that space you are safe, and you are protected. And so staying in the heart is the safest place you can be. And one of my favorite spiritual ascension teachers, Sandra Walter, talks about that. She talks about how there's no safer place that you can be as we go through this ascension journey than in your heart. And it's really not about, not to say like that it's not to advocate being broke or anything like that, but the real poverty, the real risk of bankruptcy is to not be in your heart, to not nurture that Merkaba space, which is where your true abundance is going to blossom in the 5D new earth reality that is coming online now, where all the ways and rules by which we operate are changing and are totally different. So that leads me really well into my beautiful Lemurian Starchild Oracle deck, which is full of these beautiful Lemurian energies that infuse the whole new earth grid, the new earth template reality that we're co-creating. And there's a message from them regarding where to tap our energies. That's the word I'm hearing, like where to really tap our higher spiritual energies in this time, in our meditations as we go in and around this day as well. I feel like it's this one. Yeah, beautiful. The new man. Enlightened masculine potential, new earth. So, and again, I feel like, especially for the feminine, I think that there's been, this need to be in a very kind of old masculine way that was like really not in alignment with the truth of who you really are. Is a predominantly feminine being, and allowing kind of those ways that were kind of requiring more force, more aggression, more being out of alignment with your soul is really kind of falling away to a new kind of masculinity, and that really inspires benevolence and love and gentleness and caring compassion and gentle strength and softness and nurture. It's just a totally different vibe. It's a deeply caring, heartfelt protectiveness that the feminine has not really fully known before, hasn't really fully experienced before. And it's a very all-pervasive energy that's very expansive and very connected to that divine sacred light of union. And I feel, you know, that the birthing of this energy is very significant to this whole coming into balance for the feminine, which is what's bringing forth these new manifestations that are abundant. And it's relevant, you know, it's relevant for the masculine as well, because I think there's also, you know, some remaining sadness over the past and over like old masculine relationships that were really requiring them to be in this old masculine energy that never really felt fully in alignment as a starseed, whether they knew they were a starseed or not. But for the awakening divine masculine, just always, you know, having that aspect, that sensitive aspect side to them that they covered up and that was disconnected. And now that's through the awakening process, it's fully coming online. And it really, I feel it's really coming online in both. And it's like a wellspring that is supporting, that's really supporting a much more positive experience of this Scorpio new moon. And that it's really awakening to the depths of the potentials of what's available in this new energy that maybe before seemed like one or the other. Like you can only be either in the competitive mode, or you can only be like, you know, going along with society and the competitive ways that are often required, or you can just be kind of on the sidelines of it and just be loving and not really be participating. And this is like a strong upswelling of a different energy that says, no, we're leading with this new man energy, and it's leading us forward into our new earth reality, into our abundance. And this Scorpio is like, this Scorpio energy is really like, I'm looking deep into his eyes. It really does evoke the energy of Yeshua, of Jesus, very much so, and his compassion. And like how through his, you know, efforts and actions and consciousness and everything that he did, how he changed the world. And this movement, this wave is going to have that same power. Like I really feel a crumbling of illusions. I feel like a lot of that disillusionment crumbling old illusions and everything falling away into a much more comfortable, softer, palatable, enjoyable light for everybody. And so, yeah, a lot of energy wanted to come through from this card. Wow. So, and actually there's another one. So there's another one that wants to come through for this new moon. So, and again, it just brings me back to this whole, just before I move on, this whole embracing my inner majesty, right? Like, and that, you know, I think the masculine energy has so much always felt like you have to have the badge, you have to have the title, you have to have the letters at the end of your name, you have to make something of yourself to be somebody. And this is finding a deeper value that is separate from all of that, which really was, you know, not that it's not good to accomplish things, but it was never really those accomplishments, those letters, those degrees, those titles, those job titles that the toxic masculine that we were all kind of indoctrinated in, man or woman, is really, you know, falling away to a totally different way of valuing yourself as a provider, as a giver to the world in service, basically. That's how I read that. And just accepting that, you know, realizing that you have the majesty inside of you to offer, and it's not about those externals. So what else wants to come through here for the new moon? Oh, it's too many. All right. So we've got here, I can't really say I'm surprised because it is Scorpio. We've got Storm. It's okay to feel it all. That's very Scorpio, feeling all the depths of the deepest emotions that are not normally felt. Cleanse, collapse of the old. Absolutely. I think I've been talking about that a lot today. And realignment. So, and definitely, it's been coming through a lot, getting aligned with, getting aligned with source. And so, I feel like the other card before we move on is Well of Dreams. Creations, visions, messages, dissolve the veil, bliss, dreams. So again, I think that just kind of reiterates this whole idea of having those bigger dreams, right? And having bigger visions and seeing those, going inside to see the messages and dissolving this veil of cosmic consciousness, right, to the higher, so that so that you can enter this whole bliss state of being in your Merkaba and having a complete field. And I just think that I think it's very shamanic, this card as well. It really connects with this protective inner world inside this shell. And going within to, we've got here this Merkaba spiritual protection. I feel like this turtle shell is like that Merkaba protection, and really finding the solace and the answers and the solutions within the heart space. And that's where everything, all the new manifestations, are really going to be nurtured and birthed and brought out into the physical when it's safe and divine right timing to do so. And, with the storm, it's, and look, perfect. We do have the Merkaba in the heart. We've got Metatron's cube right there on the card. So that's absolutely, and you can see the pineal gland is activated here as well. So both of those two cups being activated by the light of source. So again, the storm, it just brings me back to this original thought that I had at the beginning of the video, that this whole alignment of the new moon with Uranus we'll just say bridging. In 5D, we don't have oppositions, we bridging this higher energy and activating the heart. And that is that's a storm in and of itself, but it's not the storm that I think that most people will think is coming in a more 3D lower perspective of this new moon in Scorpio, which could be, seen as a very shady business time and very, very full of unveiling of a lot of really dark, deep stuff. And so, just remember, I think this card really says it all, that the storm really is happening within. Everything outside is always a mirror. And depending on how well you can sort of handle this energetic awakening and activation process within you is really going to be a key determinant to how you ride the waves of what you see reflected in the world around you at this time, and what really the nature of that storm is, because I feel like it's really just a very, very healthy feeling of all the feelings that allows you to fully activate your Merkaba and your cosmic self, and releasing all, like I said, all that old stuff. This card speaks again of releasing all the old stuff that no longer serves, that wants to go, with the help of Archangel Michael. So, and yeah, again, underside of the deck, we've got Cosmic Heart Sourced, which is perfect. Heart connection, true home. Your true home is in your heart. It's the source of all. And just be, right? It's the new man energy provides the space to just be. It's not all about action. So, beautiful. So I think we're going to call it at that. And this was really great to do this new moon in Scorpio reading. I hope that you enjoy it. Please, if you really got a lot out of this video, it would be amazing if you gave it a like, if you shared, and subscribed. And I will be back soon with more videos, and I'm sending you lots of love. Namaste.